Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Emerald. In the last part, we finally got Electrike to evolve, and we also made it to Fall Arbor Town and explored a little bit of Route 114. But this time we're gonna fully finish off exploring. I did actually not mean to run into that trainer. I kind of just reacted very poorly. I wanted to go explore a little bit, but this is fine. We were gonna do it anyway. No big deal. So there are two Pokemon I did not get to last time talking about Route 114, and both of these are version of exclusives. I have no idea how I stuttered like that. It was like a really quiet X, and then it just went nowhere. But overall, there are two new Pokemon. They're version exclusives. One can only be found in Ruby, and it's actually, if you were a long time ago looking for this Pokemon, you had to specifically play Ruby for it, and it was kind of annoying. And stuff happened, but eventually in what would be Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, you could then catch it there, which is pretty good. But Zangoose. Zangoose is a pure normal type, does not evolve, does not have a pre-evolution. It gets Sword Stance at like level 10-ish, I think. 10, 12, around there. Pretty early, and we also have access to the move tutor, so if it somehow loses it, you can go and pick it up right away if you have a heart scale. Gets slashed pretty early, level 19, I do know that one. When it comes, I also did not manage to empty my bag, I just remembered that. I guess I'll just leave items and do it next time. But when it comes to normal types, as always, it has a lot of moves. It is accessible. It has a lot of access to a lot of different moves. Jeez. That was hard. I don't know why. Decent stats with high speed and attack. Overall, Zangoose is probably a really good team member if you're playing Ruby. I can actually recommend it quite a bit. When it comes to overall comparison between normal types, it's one of the best. Just because it appears, you don't have to work hard with it. It just works. Wow, this is actually an example of how good our team is gonna be. So we're just gonna Water Gun, and then we're gonna Psychic, and we're gonna one-shot everything. Curly is finally outspeeding stuff. It only took like 20 levels. There we go. I love it. I love when a team comes together. Overall, I can actually recommend Zangoose quite a bit. Though, remember, it is normal typing, meaning it doesn't get that great super effectives, as always. Just the curse of normal types, but hey, you're immune to ghost moves. Congrats. So, moving on with the other Pokemon that could be found here. I actually want to do this, but we're going to actually talk about Lynette here, because she's the inventor of the Pokemon storage system. Everything is so cluttered, and you know what? I'd rather have it be cluttered and actually work, unlike Bill's amazing system 2 generations ago. You should organize your boxes. Yes, this is the person that allows us to organize how we do today, which I understand it's not actually who did it, but it's still cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy the box organization. To be honest, I actually organize by national dex number if I'm going for a complete playthrough. That's me. I also sometimes go by types and then national dex order to clarify even more, but that's just me. Actually, that's a good question. How do you organize your own boxes? That's in the 3rd generation anyway. In 4th and 5th, and there's a bunch of. God damn it! This is such a tanky Pokemon. And here's actually Sandshrew without Slash. It does get it around 23 if I remember, and then Sandslash gets it at 24. So Defense Curl. Glad I switched. Anyway, the other Pokemon we could found here, we've already seen is Seviper, a pure poison type, and it is actually a pretty fun poison type to use. I don't see a lot of praise about it, which is surprising. It's fun to use in-game. Really is. One of the things that is really good about it is that its attack and special attack are very similar, and it can be a great mixed attacker if you build it the right way, so to say. It has access to a lot of moves. It gets Poison Fang at level 33, 34, around there. And Poison Fang is interesting because it has a 30% chance to badly poison. Not just poison, but basically it's a toxic in a move, so to say. It also does damage, which makes it relatively interesting. It also gets Crunch at level 28, which is a great dark move. And overall, like, Seviper is good. It's not that fast, but everything else is in its favor. So if you're looking for a poison type you maybe haven't used yet, or even just a poison type for your team, it's great. I actually really enjoy its design and just overall usage. I've used one in the past, and while of course it didn't do what a lot of the top tier poison types can do, it was fun. I'll admit, it was fun to use, and it was a new experience. And that's always what I go for when building these teams. Like, I haven't used the main Ectric in forever, so I decided to do that. And also, it's been a while since I've used Marshtomp and Swampert in part. So, we are moving past all the trainers. We're almost done clearing this area, actually. It's gone by very short. Oh my god. Do I have anything to, like, drop? Here, you know what? It's not too big of a deal, right? I'm just gonna repel, which I rarely do, but it's my fault for wasting time. We're gonna go sell a bunch of stuff. Yay. Thank you, repel. Yeah, this is my bad. I should have done this off screen, but sometimes you just forget. Get rid of the repel. Escape rope. We need those heart scales just in case. Miracle Seed, keep that. Oh, it's all these X items that are weighing us down. I don't care at all about the Everstone. PP up's useful. Don't care about mail. No, that's mine. Don't take that. Dire hit, don't care. X speed. It's all the X items. Look at that. Mantra Brace, Nugget. We'll get rid of those. We're actually pretty rich right now. And let's go back. Sorry about that slight delay, but sometimes you forget. I'm actually very forgetful in video games sometimes. In real life, I'm also very forgetful, but it depends on what I'm working on. Okay, we need to get the Carbos out of here. Also, one thing coming up is that we will be, of course, in a new area, which means new Pokemon to talk about. I'm hoping that I actually don't make it there because I'm kind of tired of talking about wild Pokemon. I want to talk about some other things that will be either coming up or just about the game in general. It's just how I want to, or just what I want to talk about, I guess. So one thing I do want to talk about is the breeding chain that I've kind of hinted at and even told you slightly about. So right now, we have the first piece of the puzzle, and we will not be getting the second. We'll be kind of getting the second piece. It's more of the last piece we need, but we'll be getting pretty close to completing the puzzle for a little bit, and then you'll realize that I won't be mentioning it for 4 gyms. Like, it's going to take that long. This is kind of... It's one of those situations where it's going to be really weird to look at, but I've also never done this breeding chain in-game for a actual team. I've done it for competitive purposes before, and even then I used a different system because at that point I have access to everything. So this breeding chain is going to be kind of new to me on an in-game standpoint because I'm going to have to train it. But by the time we do get around to the actual like breeding and the low-level hatching and all that, I will have to use Pokemon trainers in the match call system to train up the team member, because it will be our last team member that we end up getting, and it's going to be far, far behind of everyone else. But it's also a Pokemon I've never actually fully used in game. I've tried to use it before, but I find that it lacks a certain place, and it's kind of hard to use. But this time, I'm not using it as a team member to deal damage. It's going to be purely my tank, with, of course, some damaging moves because it is in-game. And it's actually a very interesting Pokemon that I actually enjoy using competitively. And we'll get around to it. I'll mention it once we actually get access to the Pokemon. And of course, being that we are electric type, we will have to switch out, which sucks. Alright. I guess I probably should have just had Curlia out in the lead, considering there's a bunch of hikers around. My bad. Also, I probably should just be training with Curlia to get to 30, but as of right now, you'll see that there's a lot of trainers to fight. We have a certain Team Magma segment that we will be completing pretty soon, and so we'll have plenty of experience to go around. I'll just leave this. So, by my estimation, my rough estimation, you should see before we hit the next gym a Gardevoir and more than likely a Crobat, unless I like die repeatedly. And even then, all this walking around and stuff that I'll end up doing will raise Crobat or Golbat's happiness. We're gonna switch to Curlia because I don't want to deal with ground types. Have you made your Pokemon evolve very much? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 evolutions. So yes, no, maybe so. It depends how you look at it, I guess. If you count 4 evolutions as a lot. Soon, it will be 2 more, because Golbat should be pretty close to Crobat, and Curlia is only 4 level. Well, 3 after this, away from Gardevoir. Which I'm excited for, because I love using a Gardevoir. Gardevoir is fun. Hey, something to kill with Manectric. One thing I do want to bring up is, Manectric is about 7 levels. I believe it's 33. Where it gets Bite, which will be incredibly useful for the ground types that do not share a steel typing. Which, there's only a couple, so. Yeah, basically Bite is going to be the reason I won't go insane with all these ground types around. And I'm glad I did not I was actually about to click start to then switch Manectric in the lead for experience, but we're fighting a hiker. Bad idea. And I think this is actually going to be the last battle. Mostly because we're about to hit a new area where I'll have to talk about Pokemon in the wild. I don't have to, but I will because I like to. But, if you enjoy this part, as always, do like, comment, subscribe, whatever you prefer, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like is necessary to succeed in your very own life. No idea why I'm extending this, but I feel like it, so there. Anyway, I hope to see you guys next time, and Hiker Lenny is, of course, wildly... I believe there was someone copying me and shouting. Oh, so like an echo, I hope you guys will be back for the next part, and as always, till then.